Salut à tous, c'est Giameni. Nouvelle vidéo sur le mystère et cette vidéo est la deuxième partie de la vidéo que j'ai faite avec Trippy et Dibbes Gaming. Je vous ai bien sûr mis les sous-titres en français. Bonne vidéo.
I have a question for Giameni here then when it comes to the FIB. So what do you think their relationship is with the UFOs? I mean, it says FIB on the UFOs, and then in the Doomsday DLC, it seemed at first they were working against the IA, but then you kind of have to work with both of them because the threat is going to end the world or whatever. But one thing you said is that you just didn't get how it was the clones and the robots. We were expecting aliens. I just don't understand how that was related to the UFOs to begin with.
Yeah, I guess just to answer on that, and I will talk about the FIB. With all the robots and stuff, they went in kind of another story. It's like they left what we expected to go totally somewhere else, and I don't really get why they have done that. Like, I don't really get why we will never have the DLC that was planned, and maybe that could have helped us a bit to move on. Maybe they could have contained some of important clue.
Or maybe it would have been an FIB base inside of Mount Chiliad. You know, that would have made sense. Instead, it was like, what was it, an old unused military base or something that they took over?
Oh my god, if you go on that, it will really go, okay, we are in, it will go all over the place. I'm still pretty sure that there is a base inside of Mount Chiliad. We said a lot of time that they are giving us clue in online. All they are giving us is clue. Here they clearly show us in the Doomsday Heist that there is a facility inside the mountain. And I'm pretty sure that it's just to show us, guys, is it there? We know that the mural on the Mount Chiliad represents Mount Chiliad. The 5X in the mountain I show in video and with proof from the code files that it's linked with the glyph. So the X are the glyph. The all-seeing eye at the top is under the platform when you have the telescope. So we know for sure that represents Mount Chiliad. We have a kind of maze, we can say like this, or a path that leads us from one glyph to the other. But on one side, on the bottom left, you have a kind of entrance. You know what I mean? You have a line that goes from the X to the exterior of the mountain. We know that there is also a lot of stuff about the moon. I don't know if you remember, we all seen the Lord of the Ring series in the Hobbit. To enter the mountain, you remember what they have to do? They have to wait a certain moon, a certain day that will reveal the entrance.
And you got that full moon party they were talking about at the
Exactly.
hippie camp.
The entrance would probably be that cave underneath the Ultras camp, something like that.
I've heard that 5% of the coding is not used.
Yeah.
So there are still things left to be found, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to trigger it.
And to get back on all the FIB stuff, I guess the story is, we know Omega said that he was abducted, and we also found in the radio an interview of a guy. I don't remember his name like this, but I will put the audio in the video.
Weasel News. Not a break-in. We were just practicing, say, the IAA.
Globopol helping to crack down on West Coast drug trafficking.
More on the tragic storm in Liberty City that has the nation caring again.
My UFO crashed, claims hiker.
Eyewitnesses thought they'd seen the crime of the century. Instead, it turned out they were watching a training exercise at the IAA headquarters building in Los Santos. It seemed like a daring raid in which a suspect was snatched by a man dangling from a helicopter. But no, officials were quick to counter these rumors.
Globopol has gone on a media blitz in the last 24 hours to promote their tough new crackdown on U.S. drug trafficking in the extra hope that more people will discover who the hell they are In a recent poll asking U.S. citizens what Global Poll does, only 2 out of 10 people correctly identified the International Police Force, with the other responses ranging from antidepressant medication to cartoon characters.
Liberty City storm news. The storm that ravaged Liberty City has some corporate citizens stepping up to the plate, including the gas and electric monopolies.
Getting America back on its feet is important to us. Since we are a state-approved monopoly with zero interest in investing in infrastructure, we want to get the grid up and running so we can be printing money again.
Globe Oil and other petroleum companies have started a fund for victims called Warming Hearts, not Warming Oceans, which fights the myth of climate change and helps citizens replace cars that were flooded in the storm.
Jonah Henderson's hiking and meth holiday did not quite go according to plan. He was abducted by aliens, but that's not all. Having been abducted by aliens, he survived a terrifying UFO crash as the flying saucer exploded, leaving debris all over the state. Believe that, and you'll reason we, or at least you, are not alone, as many like-minded people have flocked to the Grand Sonora Desert and are hunting for UFO parts. Yet again, proof the great American imagination is alive and well. Tomorrow, we have an exclusive interview with the Tooth Fairy.
Weasel News, confirming your prejudices.
That guy said that he had a bad holiday because he was abducted by an alien. We are pretty sure that he's talking about the same UFO, but he was abducted about UFO, and we are pretty sure it's the same UFO that Omega is talking about, because the stories are similar. The thing is that that guy cannot be Omega, because he said his holiday wasn't like planned. Omega wouldn't take holiday in San Andreas because he's living there. So the thing, what I have in head about the FIB link is that Omega was like that guy on the radio, abducted by a UFO. The UFO crashed, and we have the proof because Omega sent us to collect all the pieces. So we have a proof that there was something. The FIB
Yes.
should have took the technology and tried to make their own stuff. And I am pretty sure that the resolution, the end of the mystery, it's maybe not something that we will have to unlock, but just maybe something that we will have to see, like maybe just a place inside the Mount Chiliad when we will have to see the FIB agents working with some scientists on a UFO and with maybe some aliens that they were studying. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just something, maybe that's why we have also so many links with the eye. Maybe it's just something that we have to be spectator of it, you know?
And that's what we are bringing back to where we started. Rockstar didn't have to put that FIB logo on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. If they just wanted to get rid of it, they just shown a UFO, be done with it.
Yeah.
It would have been more easier for them. But somehow they decided to put it and to make it a hologram. Yeah, I still think it's an unsolved mystery. We haven't discovered everything about the FIB.
Well, there was something else that you wanted to point out about it too. Let me bring up the. You said who leads the FIB? Okay, so you're saying that there's somebody specific that leads the FIB? Do we meet him?
Yeah,
Because when you look at the boss of Merryweather, there is a picture of him at the end. If you kill Trevor, you get an email from the boss from Merryweather, and he thanks you for getting rid of his problem, but don't interfere with him, and he will leave you alone.
Wait a bit. What about Steve Haynes? Who is he through?
Stevens,
The FIB.
he worked for the FIB, but he's not the big boss.
He joined the FIB in '93. It says. High-ranked FIB special agent. He was given leadership of his own FIB special unit and became the handler and boss of several well-known FIB special agents, including Sanchez, Dave Norton. Of course, Sanchez turned his back on him. Interesting. Then, of course, he's got the TV show as well. So maybe Steve Haynes is somehow involved with the UFOs, or at least he knows what's up with it.
The news building, you don't go there. You don't do there any missions.
In online, yeah, you go inside for the Doomsday Heist. That's why I said when RJ asked earlier about the super soldier, that's why I said that there is something wrong, because they give us in the Doomsday Heist, we go inside the satellite dish, we go inside the news HQ, we go inside Mount Chiliad, we go like everywhere. All the places
Yeah.
where we used to investigate, we go there.
You know what else is strange is that they why did they do a new podcast video with Ron Jakowski? They're pointing us to the windmill section of the map. That there are antennas there, and that the government is listening, and he talks about FIB too.
What I know is with the new podcast that they had, Ron is explaining everything that what we have in the Doomsday Heights. Everything that he talk about Super Soldier, he talk about government conspiracy, he talk about the jetpack. Everything that he talk about the new show is all what we have in the Doomsday Heights.
Does he talk about the FIB at all, or does he mention them?
I don't know if he mentioned them in the new podcast, but he talk about the government. But what he's doing, he mentioned them in story mode. When you go in Trevor's truck and Ron is there, he's trying to get some transmission. And he said, he's talking about the FIB, and he said, I know you're listening to me while I'm spying you.
Trevor, did you hear about those chips that they put in people's brains, that they can control their every... Shut up! Trevor, you wouldn't believe it. The federal government, they're starting this new facility that is... Shut up. Trevor, you're really gonna want to know about this. I mean, I was just... Oh, shut up! Those federal chumps, they gotta be behind this. Routine procedure. My ass. They're after us. Fascist pricks. I know you know I'm listening to you spying on me. Say it how it is, man. We are being watched, listened to, and spied on. Ah, I knew it. I knew it. We're being lied to by everyone. Those cocksuckers are simply out of control. I mapped out 6 quadrants and still no signs of life. And I can hear the ships, but I can't find them. You think they're using a cloaking device? I swear I could see something moving up there.
I think it's worth, when we are investigating the FIB further, we have to take that new podcast with us and listen to that again.
One other dude that we haven't talked about, I mean, we have to mention him if we talk about the FIB, is Dave Norton. You know, he's definitely one of the main characters. He's with the FIB. So he's the guy who brings Michael in. He makes him work for the government as a main portion of the storyline. And if you think about it, I mean, Michael's the guy who gets abducted by this UFO, and FIB might be behind the UFO. Another, you know, so it could be almost a way of showing that the government was bringing in Michael, you know, against his will, just like the UFOs did it. I mean, Dave Norton, he forces Michael to come back even though he doesn't want to. Michael's trying to get out of it, and then Michael gets abducted later on in the storyline.
You think that Michael dreams or Michael abduction is just like a dream or a metaphor?
It could be a metaphor. Exactly, dude. What do you think?
I am still pretty sure that there is alien in the game. For sure, like for Barry's mission, the aliens are popping. When they come, they are kind of teleporting. They come and they leave like this. When we have the Alien Egg mission in online mode, you don't have to take any drugs before to do the mission, meaning your character is perfectly in good shape, and what you see, is there. And you also see some aliens teleporting like this, the same way.
in that alien mission, where you see the egg, there are FIB soldiers, men around there too, right? The aliens, if you look at them closely, they're not really aliens. They are holograms, just like the UFO.
Well, they come in and then they leave real fast.
You don't have to shoot them. If you don't shoot them, they will leave.
Yeah, even if you shoot them, they'll leave. But yeah, that is similar to the UFO. You're right.
You see another hologram, aliens spawning in, just like the UFO on Mount Chiliad. So it looks like the FIB is doing something with UFOs. They are the most connected with UFOs and technology.
So what do you think their connection is? Just the fact that they know about them, so they're maybe making their own UFOs to go against the real UFOs? Because that's extremely confusing.
Yeah, it is. It's like an X-file. That's maybe the little Easter egg. Like, you have to think like they did. Or I don't know if there is a fan of the series that suddenly thinks, oh, we have forgotten about this in the series.
You have forgotten about something in the series. In the second season, there is one episode. It's called Duane Berry. Is the name of the guy. He's called Duane Berry. The episode said that he was abducted by aliens and stuff. Nobody believed him, and he tried to do a kind of deal with the aliens to don't get abducted anymore, and he want to give them Scully. So he just kidnap her, and to meet the alien, he have to go on the top of a mountain, and it's the night. And to get on top of the mountain, Mulder is taking delivery. It's the same.
Oh, really?
It's the same scene. Yeah, try to check that. It's Duane Berry.
This sounds so interesting, because there are so many movie-related Easter eggs. It's like basically GTA. Everybody finds Easter eggs and think, oh, that's Back to the Future, or that's Miami Vice, or that's Scarface. So I'm gonna definitely look that up and see if I can find something there.
One moment you see Mulder is going to chase the guy, and on the road you have a big billboard of the telepheric and say high in the sky or something like this, or sky high, or there is something pointing clearly at the telepheric also.
Hey, by the way, something else. Remember the video I did about the obey sign with the movie from the lizard people?
They leave. You talk about
they live.
The
yeah,
movie
from
they
the movie
leave.
they live. Yes.
With the glasses. Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you go to, I think it was you, Trippy, but you were in Lester's house and you were looking through the books or magazines that are on the shelf. But if you look at one of those books, you will see the obey sign with the same car. And then right above the obey sign, Lester drew a red UFO on it. And it's right under that obey sign, like he's pointing to us. Look at that commercial board.
At the entrance, you mean, right? It's in the box, you have to look down.
Yeah, he also drew a UFO on one of the newspapers at the window, like at the
Cry Cave, Discover Cry
Cave. Yeah,
Cave.
the Cry Cave.
Just behind it, when you're watching that newspaper, just behind it you have a magazine that talk about the maze and the Minotaur.
Yeah, true.
The Minotaur is also a story on the Greek mythology,
okay. Yeah,
and
mythology.
you have to get out of the maze to fight the Minotaur, and you know what I mean. There is also something there. We have a lot of stuff about the maze in the game.
Donc voilà, c'est déjà la fin de cette vidéo. Donnez-moi vos avis dans les commentaires. N'hésitez pas à liker, à partager et à vous abonner si ce n'est pas déjà fait. N'hésitez pas non plus à me suivre sur les réseaux sociaux. Tous les liens sont en description et moi je vous dis à très bientôt. Ciao ciao.